Awesome. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monkey Flip Podcast. A little weird, doing things a little bit differently this time. I've been working all day, so we didn't have the opportunity to set everything up, didn't have the opportunity to coordinate with Hammer, even though he feels better, I believe he's ready to go. So we're going to do something really quick. We said we'd come back to you and talk more about the draft. We're going to recap the draft a little bit and complain about it. You know how this show goes.
Yeah.
So if that's not what you were expecting, then this is your first time watching, and hit that little button there to not pay attention to us anymore or whatever. Do they have one of those buttons?
I think you can block people. I don't know. I've never needed to do that on YouTube.
What's the buttons they do have? Oh, like and subscribe. And hit that little bell button so you know all the times the video comes on. We're gonna that's for your benefit. Nothing to do with us.
No.
All for you. Everything is for you. Not for us at all. Not at all.
Nope.
But the big thing is the draft. I don't know why we're making it a big thing. You know, they're just gonna once these new people get to their new spots on the new show, they're just gonna be newly fucked like they are before. Creatively, it's not gonna be any different. It's just gonna be a new experience of how people get screwed. And you saw that a little bit with the tournament that they started last night. I mean, some of the people, you're like, maybe it's their time. They're out in like a minute and a half, and I'm hoping that everybody pulling for Xavier Woods does something to get him a little bit more of a push. Very, very good wrestler that I don't think gets enough exposure
Or credit.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets pushed aside when talking about Big E and Kofi, even though I feel like he looks more like a wrestler than Kofi.
He definitely looks like more of a wrestler than Kofi, and I know that's bad to say nowadays, but fuck you. So what do we have? We had the draft. Everybody saw the stuff on air. There's some stuff off the air that makes us wonder, like, why these people were drafted off air, and also why they were drafted in the position they were drafted.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do this?
All right. So we've got 2 nights of off-air TV drafts, which is they did one after SmackDown and then they did one after Raw. So I figure we'll just go in the order that they went. We already talked about the first night on SmackDown in our last broadcast, and if you didn't see that, go back and watch that one too.
Did we get all the way through it?
All the way through the first night, yes.
Okay.
So then
this is the off-air between SmackDown and Raw. Okay, so This is the off-air draft.
So and they didn't do like rounds off air. They just did, these people are all going to Raw and these people are all going to SmackDown. So Raw got Akira Tozawa,
cool, the
Alpha Academy, which is Otis and Chad Gable, Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz,
cool,
Doudrop.
All right, do something. How about do something better with her gimmick? Stop making that girl skip to the ring.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
I mean,
she's good.
She is good.
Leave her alone.
Let her wrestle.
Let her wrestle.
Yeah. Drake Maverick, who I have listed as Raw and NXT because he's been 24/7. He's been a couple of times.
No, I don't remember him being in there. Well, he's been 24/7 champion a while. He went back to NXT and.
So I think
they got fired.
I think maybe they're keeping the 24/7 stuff, and you'll see why here in a minute. John Morrison stayed on Raw.
Okay.
Nia Jax, Reggie, who is currently the 24/7 champ.
Yep.
R-Truth, T-Bar, and Zelina Vega.
Yeah, that was a really good draft pick. Well, Zelina Vega was on SmackDown, wasn't she? Is that
she
what
was.
It says there? SmackDown?
Yeah, she was.
It was a really good draft pick. I mean, you see how she beat Liv Morgan and.
She beat Liv Morgan in the draft too, which we'll get to.
SmackDown. Now these are these the on-air SmackDown?
No, these are still off air.
Did we get to the on-air SmackDown?
Not yet.
Okay.
So we did the SmackDown on air.
But these on-air were before SmackDown or after SmackDown.
Okay. So we did SmackDown already. SmackDown was night 1. I
just want to say that if you think we're unorganized, you're fucking right.
Yeah.
And again, thanks for watching the first show you've ever seen. So let's go. I'm glad. Like and subscribe. Okay.
So SmackDown was
for you.
SmackDown was the first night of the draft.
Okay, right.
This was off air. These were the off air polls.
Those are the people that went to Raw.
Yes, those people all there were the ones that went to Raw.
And this is still off air between SmackDown and Raw. Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sorry.
So the people that went to SmackDown, that got pulled for SmackDown off air, were Aaliyah, who is on NXT. I don't actually know that person.
Well, because she's asleep during NXT.
Normally. Drew Gulak. Say that right? Okay. Mace.
Well, that's interesting because Drew Gulak was a staple in the 24/7 championship.
Oh.
And he goes to, maybe they'll do something different with him. So
Okay. Mace.
Yeah, if anybody watched SmackDown last night, you saw that horrible promo from Mace, and
Yeah.
give him a chance to do something else, maybe.
Mansoor.
Yeah.
Okay. Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, and they didn't get drafted as a tag team.
No.
Oh, okay, but they're on the same brand, so okay.
They are. And Tony Storm.
And Tony Storm.
So
how well that one worked out too. Didn't she get beat?
Because I was upset because I like Tony Storm.
So was most of the internet wrestling community.
I mean, I just
dog hair.
Yeah, me too. I get it.
He'll probably pop up.
It's later in the day than normal, so it's fine. Okay, so on Raw.
Oh, the dog hair on you, Jesus.
I know, that's what I just said. Okay. On Raw.
I showered twice today. Just to let you know, I'm not a dirty person. I showered twice today.
But we do have a corgi,
and he loves to lay on you.
And corgis like to give you corgi sparkles. So
all right, so this is Raw now.
This is on Raw.
On Raw. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so on Raw they did rounds again. This time they did 6 rounds. On SmackDown they only did 4, and they started the count over, which made me mad. So I put the actual, like in my notes, I actually put round 1 and then in parentheses 5 because it makes me mad that they started the rounds over.
Nobody asked.
Hey.
Nobody asked. Go ahead.
Okay. So round 1 on Raw, Raw got to pick first on Raw.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And they picked Becky Lynch.
Hold on a second. Back up. They picked Becky Lynch. Let's roll back a little bit.
Okay.
These are the people that got picked before Becky Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
You're telling me that they picked Tony Storm, good pick, but still just starting out. Mustafa Ali, Mansoor, Mace, Drew Gulak, Aaliyah coming from NXT, Zelina Vega, T-Bar, R-Truth, Reggie, Nia Jax. You're starting to get into some of the better names, but Drake Maverick, Akira Tozawa before Becky Lynch. Could you guys think about this for a little bit? Because you're trying to make this a sporting event, and in a sporting event, if you've got draft picks, you're wanting to pick the best people available, and you're telling me Becky Lynch is past? What?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Raw had an opportunity in actual round 1 of night 1 to pick her as the second pick for Raw in round 1,
right?
And they picked Bianca Belair over her.
Right.
So I like Bianca Belair. Don't get me wrong. I'm confused over the fact that you wouldn't. So the other 3 people that got picked in round 1 on night 1 were all champions. Bianca Belair has been a champion, yes.
Yeah, you started out strong. You picked your Universal Champion as the #1 draft pick.
Right.
You started out strong. It's starting to feel like it's a sporting event to me. It's like a real draft.
Right.
I'm into that.
And then it went to Big E.
Yeah.
Who is also a champion.
Good.
Charlotte Flair, who is also a champion.
Cool. Yeah.
And then Bianca Belair instead of Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
But even on air, I mean, there are people on here that, like, I'm Happy Corbin should and Madcap Moss should not have been picked prior to Becky Lynch. So, okay.
Sorry, we went off on that. There's no much. Okay, so next is the Usos, and that one I understand because it was a storyline extension for Roman Reigns, that whole head of the table thing and the Paul Heyman thing, which is still compelling. It's still working.
Yeah.
So.
And then Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Stayed with Raw because
Akira Tozawa picked before Bobby Lashley. Think about that one.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep hitting that Happy Corbin thing on the head.
Nah, let's not.
Okay.
Let's not.
let's let that die. Okay. Yeah. Sasha Banks got drafted to SmackDown.
Yep.
So that was all round 1/5. Okay. I'm counting it as round 5 because sorry. And not even really round 5 because of all those people that got pulled off air.
Yeah, the sporting event that we're talking about here.
Yes. Round 2/6.
Akira Tozawa before Seth Rollins.
Yes, okay. Raw picked Seth Rollins. SmackDown picked Nakamura and Boogs.
Okay.
Raw picked Damian Priest.
That champion.
Yes.
Champion.
Yeah.
You're going to pick him after all these. I mean, Akira Tozawa. That's the low point to me. Is Akira Tozawa, who's done nothing but 24/7 hiding in trash cans, dressing up like a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
SmackDown, Sheamus.
Yep.
Raw, AJ Styles and Almost.
Almost. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. SmackDown, Shayna Baszler.
Yep.
Raw picked Kevin Owens,
Okay.
so they got KO until January. SmackDown got Xia Li.
Xia Li, yeah.
Okay,
That's good.
and that means that she got pulled up from NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you spin kick and knock a girl unconscious, and you get automatically pulled up to the next level.
Yeah,
That sounds good to me.
And since Bianca Belair got pulled to Raw, so did the Street Profits because a marriage thing.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a sporting event, though. That's
Yes, but it's like Naomi and the Usos. They're gonna end up on the same.
yeah. You're letting them off the hook. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
SmackDown picked the Viking Raiders.
From Raw, so that's an interesting one.
Raw got Finn Balor
Yeah.
from SmackDown.
That's another interesting one. Maybe we'll start to see Finn Balor more and in a better position. Like we see a lot of Finn Balor.
We do see a lot of Finn.
We do. We're even thinking that there was a camera cut this week to keep from seeing so much of Finn Balor.
Finn Balor as we could have seen.
Yeah.
SmackDown picked Ricochet.
Okay, so I guarantee that goes nowhere because they've just done nothing with Ricochet.
Right. And I keep forgetting to. So that was the end of round 4/8.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nobody's paying attention to this.
Okay. So round 5/9.
Her phone has like 3 lenses, and I don't know which one to look at.
I'm just
But
looking
they're
at.
just close to each other, so I'm hoping.
I'm looking at the
We're just
top
gonna keep
two.
doing this, and if we don't make people sick, that's fine.
I'm looking at the top two because it looks like eyes.
Good call. Now it looks like it's going. So let's go.
All right.
What's next?
So round 5/9, Raw picked Karrion Kross.
but he was on Raw. So
Yes.
Okay.
SmackDown picked Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Humberto Carrillo, but okay.
Okay,
That's cool.
Carrillo.
That'll work. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I can't read.
Raw kept Alexa Bliss.
Even though it's Raw kept Alexa Bliss.
SmackDown kept Cesaro.
Cesaro, yes.
Which were Cesaro and Xavier Woods, underrated performers.
Yes, both. Very much. I agree.
Crazy.
In round 6/10, and right after we went to bed.
Yeah, I said, fuck it. And I was like, I'm just going to bed. I'll watch it tomorrow if I care to. And I didn't care to, so I didn't watch the rest of it.
Raw picked.
So she
I got on the
gathered
internet.
the information.
Yeah, I got on the internet.
You could have totally said I watched the whole thing because I'm dedicated to my craft, and I'd have been like, "Oh, cool, yeah."
Sure.
Now you're like, I got on the internet. Okay.
Sure, I'm gonna go with what he said. So round 6/10.
Okay.
Raw picked Carmella.
Yeah.
SmackDown picked Ridge Holland.
So Carmella was on SmackDown. Now she's on Raw.
Yes.
Okay.
SmackDown picked Ridge Holland, who is called up from NXT.
Yeah, Ridge Holland's a big dude, monster.
Raw drafted Gable Stevenson, who hasn't been on any brand. He was actually in the Olympics this year for wrestling. That's the only way I know him, is that they pulled him out from the back after he won gold. And SmackDown kept Sami Zayn.
How do you feel right now if you're Sami Zayn?
He tweeted last
He got
in
drafted,
all caps.
He got drafted last,
on air.
just after a guy who's never been in the wrestling ring before
Yes.
in any competition. He's been a wrestler, not amateur wrestler.
I mean, he didn't technically get drafted last because there's still some that got drafted
Oh,
on
sorry.
on
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking
No,
Smack.
that's cool. That's cool.
All right.
No, this happened.
This was on Raw Talk.
Raw Talk. Yeah, I'm sure there are people out there that watch Raw Talk. There are not people in here that watch Raw Talk, but
No.
there are people out there that watch.
Yeah. And thank you for those people that watch it so that I could get my notes from you off the internet.
Although I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Raw Talk.
Raw Talk.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with. What am even happening here? Am I having a stroke?
I don't think you can ask if you're having a stroke if you're actually having a stroke.
Red leather, yellow leather. Okay. I don't have a problem with the concept of Raw Talk. As a matter of fact, it seems like something I'd be into. I've never done it.
Yeah.
So I've never looked at it.
All right. So
That was a long way to go for that explanation.
on Raw Talk, there were several drafts to Raw and to SmackDown. Okay. And I'm going to start by saying I really am displeased with the first person that they drafted on Raw Talk to Raw because of who comes after.
Okay.
All right. So the very first person is Dana Brooke, who's staying on Raw, but who is not as talented as some of the next people that are getting ready to be talked about.
Cool.
Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Jackson.
Ziggler being a world champion and also multi-time tag team champion.
Yeah.
With Robert Roode. So.
Yes. Jackson Riker.
Didn't they fire him? I thought they fired him.
I thought they did too, but apparently they drafted him to Raw.
Maybe they're like, okay, let's fire him officially, and then we'll bring him back and try to name him something else, cut his beard, and make him look like somebody else. Maybe
they're gonna have to try hard to make him look like somebody else. Yep. Veer. Okay, so here's where I'm mad about the Raw. There's two people that got pulled after Dana Brooks that I'm really upset about.
Dana Brooke.
Brooks. Yeah. And the fact that these two got pulled off air really pisses me off too. But Liv Morgan, seriously, off air and after Dana Brooke, seriously, not happy about that. I'll get to the next one in a minute.
Do you need a timeout?
No, it's Mia Yim staying on Raw, but hasn't been on air for a long time. Tamina, Tegan Knox, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander.
Okay.
And The Miz, really Raw? You're going to pull The Miz last? He's going to be your last pick? He is one of the most entertaining people on your show, and you're going to pick him last? Seriously? Ugh. Okay.
I'm just going to stay out of the way.
And then there were 3 more picks for SmackDown. Okay. And that is Jinder Mahal and Shanky. So they actually split Jinder Mahal's group up. Natalya got pulled to SmackDown, which means that her and Tamina are no longer a tag team.
Okay.
And Shotzi got pulled to SmackDown, which means that she and Tegan Knox are no longer a tag team.
Okay.
So.
Where did the tank go?
No. So the internet also gave me a list of people that didn't get drafted at all.
Nice.
But some of them I'm not even sure.
Before we get into that, I would like to say that I think that there are some ways that we can excuse some of the bad things that have happened here. Like, one, we can say that the draft was determined and they read it in no particular order. But in that case, why wouldn't it just be you release the drafts? Why did you start it off saying that these are the numbered picks?
Yes.
You're trying to convince us that you're in a room and everyone gets a pick. They say their pick, then they go back and they start to discuss their next pick. That's how drafts are done.
Yes.
Right? So I understand that it could have been that these weren't in correct order in any way, shape, or form. But why'd you read them to us like this? Why did you make it feel that way? And I also understand that some of these people in your minds could have been an afterthought or could have been positioning or whatever, however you want to kayfabe that out. But here's the thing. You're delivering to us that it's sequential. So if you deliver round 1 of the draft and then you tell all these people that got drafted after the camera stopped rolling, and then you don't say, the next time you come on the screen, you say round 1 of the draft. What do you mean? Is that part 1 of round 2 or part? Make it make sense at least. And when you're taking a look at these people that you know are your bread and butter, and you're saying they get drafted off the year like before and some of them not even drafted. Does it mean they're gone? What does that mean? Does it mean we don't have to think about them anymore, or does it mean you're just waiting to build the Royal Rumble and throw them in there and go, we haven't seen them? I get it. Some of these drafts I know you made just to keep the feuds going, but here's the thing. You could have put those people down lower and still done that. You could have done that in any order you wanted to. You had the ability to take a look at all the people, know which shows they want to be on, put it in an order, and say, you know what, let's make this make sense. You chose not to.
Yep.
Sorry, it turns me off to it. I really enjoy some of these people going to another show, and maybe they'll get a chance. I doubt it, because It hasn't happened so far, but
I know that this is not gonna happen because I know that you guys have sunk a whole lot of money into Carmella's new gimmick, but I kind of hope that her and R-Truth hook back up and she goes back to being the Long Island,
the Princess of Staten Island.
Yes, yeah, because
It's not gonna happen. She's
I know.
She's gonna win the Queen of the Ring tournament, which is gonna be even more annoying.
But and it's not that she annoys me. It's just that I loved her old gimmick and her old music. I still play her old music all the time.
I will just make this prediction: if Carmella wins the Queen of the Ring, you'll long for the days of King Corbin. Long for the days.
Probably true. Yeah. So do you want to go over
over the ones that weren't drafted? Brock Lesnar, that makes sense. They actually explained that Paul kept him out, or Paul kept him out. He's a free agent now. He doesn't have to worry about this kind of thing. And it makes sense, too, because he's one of those guys that shows up for a month, does this thing, and goes away, with or without the belt. He's a great dude.
I do wish he'd cut his hair. I don't like his ponytail, but...
That's the fashion portion of the show.
Sorry. Bailey?
Bailey makes sense that maybe not drafted. She's injured, so...
Asuka?
Don't know where she's been.
I don't know where she's been either. Elias, they're changing his gimmick, so it makes sense that they wouldn't yet draft him.
Elias will come up in the Rumble, maybe.
Yeah. Eva Marie, which that one surprised me because they've been making such a big fucking deal about her.
Well, she's also injured.
Oh, I didn't.
She's injured.
Oh, she's injured.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you read the next two names because I always fuck them up.
It's Grand Metalik, who I believe is still petitioning to get his release. And Lindsay Dorado. I even messed up Dorado. I didn't mess up Lindsay, but I messed up Dorado. Wow. Lindsay Dorado. You want me to just keep going?
Sure.
Lacey Evans, she was out with a pregnancy. Slapjack, he's injured too. Not physically, he's just somebody named him fucking Slapjack, and that has to hurt.
True.
Titus O'Neil's kind of an ambassador. He hasn't really been wrestling for a while. I think he's been doing more of the community outreach stuff, which good on him. Davey Boy Smith Jr. We always hear about Davey Boy Smith Jr., but we never see him. So I know she got to the internet to get to this one because anybody that's just a fan watching knows of Davey Boy Smith Jr., but has not seen him, as far as I know, on NXT or SmackDown or Raw or anything. John Cena, which wasn't this supposed to be the summer? What, the summer of Cena? What happened to that?
The
summer's gone and he's gone, but I don't remember him wrestling through much of the summer.
He was supposed to be on 15 episodes, and I don't think he was on 15 episodes.
Yeah, they were even billing it. It's like, here's the summer of Cena. These are all the places he's going to go. Okay. See, we got another, hey, I'm going to show up around WrestleMania time or SummerSlam time, and then just disappear. Yeah. We don't need you. Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon isn't with the WWE anymore, according to reports. He's not with the WWE anymore. Come on.
I'm betting that's not going to pick up a whisper.
I don't care.
Okay.
They know what I'm whispering.
Okay.
Why am I berating you? I didn't mean to berate you. I am sorry.
What?
Very sorry.
So...
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's the end?
That's the end.
That's the end. We even brought up some people we brought up a lot of people I don't care about.
Yeah.
So we said we'd come back and we'd give you the rest of the WWE brand shakeup. Hope it means that the people who have gone to different brands get some new life. I hope it means that some people that go to new brands get a life, because there's some of them they have not given an opportunity to at all. Or maybe even that now some of the new people coming onto the brand can refresh and make new inroads with stories and characters of people who weren't getting much play that stayed with their brand. Maybe it's a positive thing. I mean, there has to be a time when you sit back, you try to take a look at what's going wrong. And I hope it's not arrogance thinking that nothing's going wrong, because if you watch a WWE program, even SmackDown, which I feel is now and has always been superior to Raw, I think these brand shakeups show that, because you get Raw is such a good or SmackDown is such a good show, and then these brand shakeup happens and they set up taking people. AJ was kicking ass. AJ Styles was kicking ass on SmackDown. Then they brought him over to Raw, and now he's a tag team guy.
Yep.
They're having tournaments to see like who's the best, and his name's not in it because of you want to keep him as a tag team, I guess, or he wants to stay as a tag team. I don't know. He may have some say in it. Who knows? Almost probably doesn't have any say in it. But yeah, hopefully it does mean something positive. I'm just upset that we're going to say that this is a sporting event and that we're doing draft picks. We know you're not, but make it look like, because that's the fucking point, right?
You've got some real big fan favorites that you kind of fucked this time, in my opinion.
You know, as Cody Rhodes said on the first episode of Roads to the Top, wrestling's about selling tickets.
Absolutely.
Asses in seats, bros. Remember that shit. And you wouldn't think that you would have to tell the WWE that wrestling's about selling fucking tickets. Y'all lose track of that when you didn't have any competition? When you pulled the monopoly, you're just like, if you want to see wrestling, you're coming to us, so why should we try anymore? Try. Come on.
I agree.
Thank you. We're just looking at each other now. We're not doing anything with them.
Yeah, we should
and
probably.
They're the ones that are popping on here. And I still have to edit this, and I've been working all day, and I don't want to. I almost didn't do this. I didn't want to do it. But I kind of made a promise, so it's going to happen. Next week, we should get back on track and have a real show where we bring everything out and plug it in and do all kinds of craziness. I think Hammer's going to be back next week. That's all we got to say for today. I'm really enjoying watching AEW. I wish Rampage wasn't on so late.
Yes.
Because I'm old.
And I always miss it.
And she's asleep at 8.
I don't go to sleep right. I watched a lot. I watched Finn's Balor come to the ring last night.
That's true. She did watch that, and she was really watching that. It's like he's part wrestler, part grandfather clock. Just. But anyway, that's it. That's our show for today. And like and subscribe. Hit the bell button. You'll know when we put out another one of these half-hearted, thrown together by the seat of our pants, sitting in our sweatpants on our couch videos.
Mine has Nightmare Before Christmas logos on it.
Hers are fancy. Mine has gray. Peace out, people.
Thanks.